Good evening. Welcome to the City of Lowell Zoning Board of Appeals meeting for August 28th, 2017. A couple housekeeping matters. If you have your cell phones, please place them on silent or turn them off. If you wish to speak tonight for or against a petition, on behalf of petition, please state your name and sign in at the podium, as well as the petitioners as well. First order of business is under new business, ZB 2017-35, for a special permit and variance, Habitat for Humanity at 285 Nesmith Street. The petition is seeking an amendment to a previously granted special permit and variance at 285 Nesmith Street. The proposal consisted of constructing a new two-family dwelling without meeting the frontage requirement in the traditional multi-family zoning district. The proposed changes to the project require an amendment to the special permit approval under section 4.5.3 and the variance approval from the Zoning Board of Appeals under section 5.1 and 6.1.10 of the Lowell zoning ordinance. Is the petitioner here tonight? Good evening. State your name for the record.
Okay, good evening. My name is Brenda Gould. I'm the Executive Director for Habitat for Humanity. You need me to sign this too? Okay, I'll do that in a second. So, first of all, I wanted to thank you for having me here tonight. Some of you I recognize from the last time I was here, so I appreciate your patience as we come a second time. I realize your time is very valuable. We wouldn't be doing this if we didn't think it was important. There's two things I need to just let you know before I make my petition. I want you to know that Habitat is very committed to building in Lowell. Besides these two homes, we also have, last week, we're granted a licensing agreement to do a children's park over on Franklin Street, and we are this close to getting another piece of property on Adams Street for 2 more homes, which will make 10 homes just in the acre. So we are committed to building a community and homes in this area. The second thing I want to let you know, just in case people don't know, is Habitat is 100% self-funded. Many people think Jimmy Carter cuts me a check. He doesn't. As a matter of fact, we pay for our brand. So cost is not a reason why I'm in front of you tonight, but I do need you to know that that plays a very important part because we have to raise every dollar locally. You were very generous to grant us a special permit a year ago on 285, I think now 281 Nesmith Street. The house has been taken down. We have a sign out front, and we are getting ready to start building. The reason I'm here tonight is the good news is we have worked a deal with Greater Lowell Tech to partner with them to get some really on-site classroom and on-site training, and they want to build this home with us. So talk about STEM, that's it in reality, and they're going to be starting to build in October. If you do have any actual technical questions, Scott Carpenter is here. He's our construction manager. So the reason I am here tonight is that after a year of looking at the property and now that it's leveled, the house, we realize that we have significant hardships with several areas. The topography, there are very steep declines from the front of the property to the back. If you remember, your request was for safety, to pull back 62 feet in the front. Based on that, because of the steep declines, we don't have the equipment to do all of that work. Excessive tree cutting in the back, instabilities that we are concerned with regarding building on virgin soil instead of putting the new foundation where the original was. And lastly, conforming to the neighborhood. When we built on Rock and Willie Street, we were very careful to conform with the neighborhood, being as close to the front as we could with others. We don't want our house to stick out. We don't want people labeling us as the affordable house, and so we're very concerned about conforming to the neighborhood. Lastly, we would like these families to have a backyard. We're also concerned about the abutters and the disruption in the backyard. So those are several hardships that I am asking for you to consider allowing us to leave the foundation pretty much where it was, which would mean that we would need parking in the front, which would request 4 spaces instead of 6, and an additional curb cut. So I don't know if you have any questions. I think you may have a copy of the plot plan. You should. I get confused because we've done this plot plan 4 times now, but you should have the old and the new one, which shows the 4 parking in the front. And I think I sent you what we like the house to look like, trying to keep it to look very similar to what we took down, but to make it maintenance friendly.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
At this point, I'd like to open up the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak in favor? In favor? In favor? That portion of the public hearing is closed. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Opposition? In opposition? That portion of the public hearing is now closed. I'll open it up to the board. Dennis?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through Mr. Chairman, I'd like to ask a couple of questions of the plans that were submitted. But I think that our previous member, Mr. Jim Peters, would be happy with this solution to some degree, because he mentioned the original subdivision plan that was done, I think, by the Costellos, had the houses all aligning up there. So by bringing it forward, would be maintaining that original street front.
Right, yeah, the Costellos were previous owners, original owners, I think, of the home.
Right. Okay, so there's 2 3-bedroom units, and we're providing 4 parking spaces, 2 per unit. And I think, Christine, that's required by zoning, 2 per unit, is that correct? Or is it more than that per zoning?
It's technically 0.75 per bedroom, or 2 per unit, whichever is higher. So in this case, it would be 3 per.
Okay, so that's really why we had 6 to begin with.
Yeah, so there's that, and then also the additional curb cut calls for 2 more parking spaces, and so they're only providing 4. So technically, they don't have 8, so they only have 4, and so that's the variance that they need.
Okay, and you really don't have any on-street parking available to you?
I believe at that spot, you could move up and park, but I don't think the border there, I'm not sure if people park there or not, but it's, Route 38. You can park further up, but I don't think you can park in front of the house. No, across the street are condominiums. You might be able to squeeze in some spots there, but I don't believe you can park in front of the house.
So you obviously think this is a good idea. So do you have some other residences that you've done with 3 bedrooms where you basically have a case study where you see 2 parking spaces being the reasonable amount?
We have, all of our homes, quite honestly, only provide 2 parking spaces. The 2 houses we built on Willie Street have front-to-back parking for 2 each, and the development we put on Rock Street, it does allow for 2 each, but I think we have 1 for visitors because they have to park behind the street, behind the houses. In my experience, 2 is definitely enough. Most of these families have 1 car. I very rarely see them with 2.
Okay,
Doesn't mean they couldn't have 2, but most of them have 1 car.
right. So there's a second car available for those rare families that need to have the 2 spaces.
Right, or company,
Yep. or
which we
company.
want them to have.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mhm.
And so moving the building or the structure forward, the rear elevation shows, or the side elevation shows that you're maintaining a rather small amount of foundation exposed. I just don't want to see a big amount of concrete foundation. I'd like to see the house sitting on the lot with just, maybe 2.5 feet of foundation exposed. And I think that's what you've maintained with the side elevation, is that correct?
Right, that's what we would like in the front especially.
Yep.
And put some small shrubs to, maintenance, easy maintenance, and to make it, aesthetic. In the back, I'm not sure how much foundation would be showing, but we would also try to put some shrubbery back there as well, because it goes down 11 to 12 feet from the front to the back of the lot.
The plan that we have doesn't really show a lot of landscaping other than around the parking area, right? I think that's all that you've provided.
Right, we didn't put any in for the back, but we usually do plant some shrubs, trees if needed. I mean, we could certainly put a landscaping plan together.
I think I'd like to support a condition that you work with DPD to develop a landscape plan that would be acceptable for this lot, if the other board members would like to support that.
Yeah, that's not a problem. We normally do anyway, just not at this stage right now, but I'm happy to do that.
And could you just explain the idea with the front walkway between the two parking spaces? So there's no landscaping there. This looks like it's probably 4 or 5 feet wide. Is that correct?
The walkway into the home, yeah. I mean, we may line it with some small shrubs, but the problem is we want to make sure that they can put snow and snow removal as well, so,
It's a little too tight to fit everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
But we can look at that as well. I know some of our original drawings did have small trees. The other thing I'm cautious about is sight distance and making sure that we don't do anything that would block visibility from somebody pulling out. But we could include that in a landscaping plan, both front and back, so that you could see that there's greenery.
I think that makes sense.
Okay,
I think you've done a great job with your other properties in the city, and I really am looking forward to this one being a success also.
thank you. We are
And
too.
would like to do anything I can to support it, so
Thank you.
nice job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. Sean?
Thank you, through you, Mr. Chairman. I think previously, if I'm not mistaken, when we approved it, it was with the parking, part of that was the parking plan was to be diagonal, if I'm not mistaken, that was.
Yes,
what we-
stacked parking.
So, but I can see through, based on the topography and the set, that's obviously not possible. So I'm generally in support of the project, as laid out. And my concerns also were that, as well as the landscaping, a landscaping plan, which I would certainly second Member McCarthy's suggestion that we have a condition put in,
Great.
that you work with DPD on landscaping. But it's a great project. Habitat for Humanity does awesome work, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Mike?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I agree with what's been said already by my colleagues. I have a quick question just to clarify that section between the two parking areas. Is that going to be paved, or that would be landscaped, that little strip between the two?
It probably will be paved with some landscaping. I have to look at that. Sometimes we'll just put like flagstone or something. If we can keep some grass in there, we will.
Okay.
So if I could include that with a landscaping plan of what we would decide to do.
Sure. Yeah, I was just unclear about what Dennis was asking earlier, if he was talking about the same area or the...
Yeah, the one in the middle.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'm in favor of the new special permit and variance. I remember when you were here for the first application, there was a concern that there'd be too much of a steep drop off in the back.
Right.
And I know you would agree to work on reviewing that, and you've reviewed it, and it's not doable. So, but I'm in favor of the extra curb cut and reducing the number of spaces required too. So.
Great.
That's all. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Chairman.
Thank you, Mike. Van?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I think Habitat for Humanity does amazing work, and all the other projects speak for themselves, and I'm sure Ms. Gold and the rest of the team will do an amazing job on this project as well. So wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Just, I do echo the sentiments of the board as it relates to the landscape plan, which would be one condition.
Okay.
And just as a follow-up, you did receive the comments from the city in regards to the curb cut and the other comments from the city? Just do you have a copy of that?
I actually do not have that.
Okay.
Did that come out after I applied, or what?
Yeah,
Oh. Okay. I'll take a look and
just
check
so
my
you can
email.
have, just for your
Yep.
for your review and for your record. Any other comments or concerns from the board? Question, Christine, will we be taking two separate votes tonight?
Yes, one for amending the previously approved special permit, and then the other for the dimensional variances.
Thank you. That being said, can I get a motion on a special permit?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve ZBA 2017-35, a special permit for Habitat for Humanity for the property located at 285 Nesmith Street. The first vote on the special permit is for the amendment and proposed changes to the project for approval under section 4.5.3.
May I have a second?
Second the motion.
Roll call, please.
Chairman Perrin,
Approve with condition?
Member Peck,
Approve with conditions.
Member Paglia,
Approved with condition.
Member Callahan,
Approve with conditions.
Member McCarthy.
Approve with condition.
Your petition for a special permit has been approved. Moving on to the vote for a variance. May I have a motion?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion to approve the variance for ZB 2017-35. The applicant is Habitat for Humanity for the property located at 285 Nesmith Street. And this is just an amendment to a previously granted variance under section 5.1 and 6.1.10 of the Lowell zoning ordinance, with the following condition, which should be included with the special permit, that the applicant develop and submit a landscape plan to the Department of Planning and Development.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second?
Roll call, please.
Chairman Perrin,
Approve with condition.
Member Peck,
Approve with conditions.
Member Paglia,
Approved with condition.
Member Callahan,
Approve with condition.
Member McCarthy.
Approve with condition.
Congratulations, Ms. Coolidge. You've been approved unanimously. Wish you the best of luck with your project over there.
Thank you very much.
Take care. Moving on to other business from the administrative review at 28 Walker Street, ZB 2017-27 for variances. John Molinaro, 28 Walker Street. Applicant was granted variance relief to construct a two-family structure in the rear of the lot. The applicant has redesigned the two-family structure. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. John Molinari, I own 28 Walker Street. I was here before and was approved for a two-family, but after I went to back to design, I didn't like the way it was laid out. I don't know if you guys have a copy of the last, that picture there. The back porches were, if you're looking down the driveway at Walker Street, were on the left side, and the farmer's porch was on the right side of the building. And I thought the farmer's porch should be in the front as you look from Walker Street, and the deck should be on the back, overlooking there's open space in the canal back there. So when I sat down and redesigned it, we could do that. And I just thought it looked a lot better. It's basically the same exact footprint. We just made the farmer's porch looking out towards Walker Street, like I said. I think it's a much better design. You know, like I said, after I staked it out and I saw where the porches were facing the neighbors, I just didn't like it, so I went back and see if I could improve on it. And that's what I did. I have a copy of the new plan if you want to see that, one for each of you guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Anything further to state at this time, sir?
No, that's basically the reason I switched it was just what I stated.
Okay. That being said, I want to open up the public hearing for this petition. Anyone wishing to speak in favor? In favor? In favor? That portion of the public hearing is now closed. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition? In opposition? In opposition? That portion of the public hearing is now closed. We'll open up to the members of the board for comment. Dennis?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just have a couple of questions. Through Mr. Chairman, I want to ask about the site plan.
Okay?
So, the plans that you submitted show a farmer's porch and the rear decks. And the rear decks indicate that there's a stair that goes down the side of the property.
Right.
I guess that would be the south? Is that right? The stair would access the south elevation?
I guess when I'm looking at the building on that picture, I'm not sure if it shows it on the right-hand side of the building or on the left.
Well,
But I think I thought I could put them, if you're looking at the building, to the left because the original plan had the decks off the left side. Right, so originally, I don't know if, but we thought the steps could be straight down, but then it's gonna infringe on more open space, plus the stairs would come down with the first floor, you would see it. So I thought it would be better if it exited on the left side of the building, as you're looking at it.
when you say left, so there's a north arrow in the site plan, and I believe that is the right side of the building as you're facing it from Walker Street. Is the
Yes,
north side.
I think
So
I
the
think on
left-
that plan they did it. I think I could do it either way, though.
Well, do we need an access drive to get to those parking spaces that you have shown in the back of the site? Is that right?
No, all the parking is in the front.
All the parking's in the front. Got it. Okay.
All the parking is in the front, yeah. There's 6 spaces in between the 2 buildings. The only difference really is basically, we just moved, like I said, the farmer's porch is not gonna be on the right side of the building.
Christine, do we have a site plan that shows the parking, 6 spaces between the 2 structures? Because I can't seem to find that one.
I printed one out, I have one here.
That was a condition of the planning board decision, which we did receive, but I may not have uploaded that last one. But it was a condition of the decision that all 6 spaces go in between the 2 structures.
Right,
Sounds perfect. Can I just see
Right.
that site plan, please?
yeah, let me just show you what I have.
That cleans everything up for me. Much better. Much better.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. However, we still need to indicate the farmer's porch on the site plan,
Okay,
which might cause the parking spaces to be pulled closer to the front building in order to accomplish that.
okay,
So I think I'd like to just make a condition, if the board supports that, that we provide a revised site plan indicating the footprint of the farmer's porch and how that impacts the 6 spaces.
okay.
But I agree with you. I think that this is a better-looking design
It's definitely a better looking
what
design,
we
I
saw
think. Yeah.
a little while ago. And
I don't know
those-
why I didn't try to push it before, I don't know.
And those decks in the back will be amazing as far as the view back there.
Right.
And a big improvement. Christine, do we need to worry about access to the back of the site for emergency vehicles, or, I mean, that was one of the comments that I think I saw. I know this, for instance, the 2-family that we just had from Nesmith Street, we don't really have that ability there either for a fire truck to get to the back of that property.
When this application has been forwarded to our project review team, and it is a condition that they receive fire access.
My guess is that
We
have
haven't
code.
received it in writing,
Okay.
but
Right.
usually we only hear when it's an issue. As long as they can get to at least, I mean, ideally 3 sides, but in this case, they can get to 2, and I think that's,
Okay.
I don't want to speak for the fire department, but
And the building, the structure is 40 feet deep, so it's
Right.
not all that excessive as far as the dimension goes.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I don't think we're going to solve it with getting a fire truck down beside this, because you're really kind of tight with those stairs to the deck and the side yard, but I do like the design better, so.
Thank you. Me too.
I think that I'd just like to make a condition that we work with getting the site plan resolved with showing that farmer's porch accurately.
I can do that. Yep.
And that's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. Sean?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I share the same sentiments as Dennis. Thank you, Mr. Molinari, for providing the updated site plan, because I was questioning the prior site plan, we had the 2 parking spaces in the back there, just didn't really
Right.
make much sense, so, and thank you for the updated designs. I do actually like it with it does make more sense with the porches being, set up the way, facing the canal side,
Right.
as opposed to out front, so, I'm in favor with this petition. I think it's fine, I think it's a great setup, and I wish you best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Mike?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, I agree with what's been said, and I do like the fact that you've reoriented the house to the street.
Mm-hmm.
And also with the farmer's porch, by having the steps on each side, because I
Right.
know some members, the concern, I think originally was when the parking was going to be in a different place, someone might walk right out their front door and get hit by somebody backing in and out.
Right.
So even though you now have the farmer's porch facing the parking area,
Mm-hmm.
the steps aren't coming right out the front door and off the
Right.
porch. It's off
Yeah, we
to
just made it
each
a little
side.
narrower so the steps can come up the side.
Yeah, and it makes sense. I don't know why none of us thought of it, and yourself and Attorney
Yeah.
Flood, no one said anything about how having those decks in the, by reorienting the house,
Mm-hmm.
those decks are gonna look out on a good-sized yard, but then also the canal walkway, which will never be developed, so.
Right, and it's
a
once
much
I-
better,
Once
much
I
better
got rid of
view.
all those trees there, I realized how really nice it is back there,
Yeah.
the canal.
I do remember there was one tree you were concerned about whether you could save. A branch
Yeah.
had come down during a storm, and,
I'm not sure I can because I've already lost another branch last week.
okay.
It's just, I might have to take that down, yeah.
Well, again, I'm in agreement, and I approve the redesigned plans, and I think it will look a lot better than, not that what you had before didn't look
Right.
good, but this will look a lot better than what the original plan was.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Mike Van?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I agree with my colleagues. I think this redesign of the 2-family structure is going to look amazing. I know Mr. Molinari has done other work, and he does amazing work, so I know this project will turn out great too. Best of luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Van. Well, Mr. Mallon, you heard the words of the board, and as always, when we have a petitioner that's willing to work with DPD and take a second look, in this particular case, I think it worked out well for everybody. You're gonna have a nice project going there.
Thank you.
That being said, I seek a motion. Oh,
Mr. Chairman,
excuse me.
I just think we might want to entertain a condition for the farmer's porch to be added to the site plan.
Thank you. Okay. Any other comments or concerns from the board?
I think we have to accept the site plan that Mr. Molinari presented and handed in today as well, so.
Right, accept the site plan. And the condition. Through you, Christine, all the planning board conditions will be part of the record as well, correct?
Yeah, so tonight you're just voting on whether or not you think this is a substantial change to the previous decision. So all the previous conditions will still apply, so he will need to provide a most up-to-date site plan, and fire access, showing where the porch and the rear stairs will be, and to work with DPD on a landscape plan.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments or concerns from the board? That being said, may I have a motion, please?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve ZB 2017-27, an administrative review and variance for John Molinari for the property located at 28 Walker Street. So we are approving the variance that was granted to construct a two-family structure in the rear of the lot, and the fact that the applicant has redesigned the structure with one condition, that a revised site plan indicating the farmer's porch be submitted to DPD.
May I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Chairman Perrin,
Approve with condition?
Member Peck,
Approve with conditions.
Member Palia,
Approved with condition.
Member Callahan,
Approve with condition.
Member McCarthy.
Approve with condition.
Sir, you've been unanimously approved. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in. Moving on to other business, we have an administrative review at 9 and 15 Pearl Street, ZB 2015-24 for a special permit, Julio C. Rodriguez. Applicant is seeking an extension for a previously granted special permit for the conversion of an existing auto repair establishment into a 6 residential dwelling units located in the downtown mixed-use zoning district. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, how you doing?
I'm all.
My name is Julio Rodriguez, I'm with 9 and 15 Pearl Street, and I'm here today to ask for an extension of a previous special permit that was granted to me a couple of years ago. The reason why we didn't start this project, it's because we started another project half a block away, a few feet away from this project. And it's 241 Appleton Street, which is located right across the street from the Owl Diner. So I had an investor working with me in this project, and he was the one that was providing the funds, and we did great. This was Appleton Street became a very, very nice project. It was one of the worst properties in that area, and it became really one of the best-looking properties in the area. The problem we had is we had a lot of problems while working on this project because of the area. We had a break-in. We were broken in 14 times through the whole process of working, and unfortunately, I lost that investor. He did not want to invest anymore in that area, but I still believe in that area. I have found another investor that will fund. I have until September 25th to have all my conditions clear and apply for a permit and get started right away. So I have until September 25th so that I can get those funds and get started working on Pearl Street, which is what I really want. And I still believe that that project is going to be a very good project, and it's going to be a good story just as Appleton Street.
Thank you. Appreciate that. At this moment, I'd like to open it up to the public. Anyone wishing to speak in favor? In favor of this petition? In favor? That portion of the public hearing is now closed. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition? In opposition? In opposition? That portion of our public hearing is now closed. I'd like to open it up to the board for comments and questions. Dennis?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just have a couple of questions.
Sure.
The new application is strictly the same as it was previously.
Correct.
It's just for an extension.
Yes, sir.
So there's no design changes or no
Not at all.
stipulations that you're looking to get? Okay. And you're expecting to start construction this fall?
Yes, if I can clear my conditions, which we should be, and we can get a permit started, we'll have the funds by September 25th, and we'll definitely like to get started before the winter.
Sure. I'm not sure if there was much that would be affected by the winter, but I imagine getting the shell kind of weather tight would be the
Correct.
big piece.
Right.
And so, I mean, I
That's
think
something
that's
that it's
probably a
doable, absolutely.
6
And
to
we
8
want
weeks.
to do that. We want to enclose that building because we have also had break-ins
Yep.
and all kinds of problems. So, you know, we definitely want to get that building up and running.
I'm glad to see you're still on target to try, so
Oh, I
I
am.
want to support that, and I think it's a great project, and I'm willing to extend the...
Thank you, sir.
The variances. Okay, well, thank you.
Thank
No
you.
further questions.
Thank you, Dennis. Sean?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I wasn't on the board when this was previously brought before it. It started a month after that, but I'm looking at the decision from 2015, and there were a series of several conditions that were granted, that were made as far as the granting of the petition previously. I don't know if I should, this Christine, is there any comment, have those conditions been met at all, or,
No.
No.
no? I mean, that included, providing plans for the roof, including drainage, executed parking lease agreement, landscape plan, trash collection plan, all this. I mean,
Right.
it seemed like stuff that, there is some stuff that you could have taken care of prior to
Right.
coming for the extension. I mean, do you plan, I'm not really opposed to the extension, but I just, in 2 years, I mean, there's not one condition's been met on the prior thing. And I just would
We
hope
wanted
that,
to get everything together, and we do have a lot of, most of these things, including the plans and everything, but we wanted to submit everything in one package. One of the big problems was number 2 with the parking lot. We have been getting a lot of running around as far as getting that parking agreement with the municipal garage.
Yeah.
So, I've been talking to the director, Nick Saban, I believe it's his name. So hopefully we'll get that squared away. That's the most important thing. There was a site plan, the environmental, it was the biggest thing, and that had already been done. And there were no further, so there were no environmental problems with the report. We have a summary of that report already, so that to me was the most difficult.
understandable. I mean, but, again, I'm not really generally opposed to the extension, but I just, the concerns of the conditions after 2 years, nothing being done, and kind of.
I understand.
But, I mean, we would, if the condition is granted, I mean, those conditions should remain, will remain on the prior thing,
Right.
too. All right, that's all I have. I wish you the best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Mike?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm sorry to hear what happened with the other property that you were redeveloping. I certainly appreciate your effort to invest in a couple of properties in that area and help bring that area, I guess, downtown back.
Thank you.
We did approve a while ago a grocery store on Appleton Street for another applicant, and there's some longtime businesses in that area. But so again, I appreciate you working on that other home. I think I know which one you mean, and
Right across the street from the diner.
so I'm in favor of granting the extension. I somewhat agree with Sean's line of questioning in regard to the conditions, but I see how if the whole project was delayed, that you were just waiting to get it restarted and then submit everything that was asked for. So I'm sure we'll all, expect that to happen with the planning office. So
Yes, I did lose a little bit of ambition, when all this was happening, but, we're back on track, and, we definitely want to get this building going. We went from a property that was condemned for drug usage and prostitution, and now we have an attorney, we have a software developer in there, we have a nurse, a couple of veterans, professional veterans. So, we have good people, bringing in good people to this part of the neighborhood.
great, thank you, and that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mike. Van?
Through you, Mr. Chairman. I do agree with my colleague, especially Mr. Callahan. It's been 2 years since the original approval, and, I'm sorry about all the hardship you had since you got the original approval. I'm for the extension. I think it's fine. I would also agree that the 10 conditions that were previously granted for this variance should be also part of this review as well. So as long as you get the the project up and going. You know, I know it's a rough area in the neighborhood, so I agree that, you know, you're helping to revitalize this section of the city. So we appreciate that. I appreciate that. So,
Thank you.
I wish you the best of luck, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Van. You heard the view of the board. It's always exciting when someone does stay on course with development in the city, and you had your work cut out for you over there, and the property has done well. Moving forward, you will be subject to the conditions of the previous petition.
Right.
You have any other further comments or concerns?
No, sir.
Any comments or concerns from members of the board? That being said, may I have a motion, please?
Extend.
Christine?
I'm sorry, you can only extend it for 1 year, because we can't approve a special permit for over 3 years. He'll have to refile and come back a new public hearing. So it would just be for 1 year, an extension.
That would be perfect.
That's fair. Yes.
Sorry.
Yes, I need to have
Yes.
a building permit by the 25th. That'll work.
So you understand the criteria for the 1-year extension?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You agreeing with that?
Yes, sir.
All right, that'll be stated in the conditions. Anything further from DPD or members of the board? That's-
Cook. Mr. Chairman, so 1 year, Christine, is from the prior granting of the petition or from today?
It'll be from the July 30th, 2015 filing. So we'd actually probably go from the date of his email requesting the extension, or just go from the 30th.
Okay.
So it'd be so July 30th, 2018. And arguably, he could just accomplish one of those conditions, and that would technically enact the special permit, and then that expiration date would be moot.
Okay.
Thank you, Sean. Anything further at this time? That said, may I have a motion, please?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the administrative review of ZB 2015-24, which is, or was a special permit for Julio Rodriguez for the property located at 9 and 15 Pearl Street, seeking an extension for a previously granted special permit for the conversion of an existing auto repair establishment into 6 residential dwelling units located in the downtown mixed-use zoning district, with the following conditions. One, that the original conditions from the approval dated June 2nd, 2015. I'm sorry, July 27th, 2015.
It was filed with the city clerk on July 30th, so that's when the deadline.
Filed July 30th, 2015, with an extension of 1 year to July 30th, 2018.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second the motion.
May I have a roll call, please?
Chairman Perrin,
Approve extension.
Member Peck,
Approve extension.
Member Palia,
Approved extension.
Member Callahan,
Approved extension.
Member
Approve the extension.
So that said, you've been approved for your extension. We wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you.
Moving forward with the meeting at this time, under other business, it is the order of the board and the commission of the DPD to have our board elections tonight. We'll be holding elections for chairman, vice chair, and clerk. That being said, may I have a motion, or may I have a,
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I nominate Gary Perrin as chairman.
is there a second?
Second.
May I have a vote for roll call?
Chairman Perrin,
Approved Chairman Perrin.
Member Peck,
Approve Gary Perrin.
Member Palia,
Approve Gary Perrin as chairman.
Member Callahan,
Approved Gary Perrin as chairman.
Member McCarthy,
approve Gary Perrin as chairman.
Thank you very much for your confidence in your vote, gentlemen. Moving forward with the vice chair, I'd like to make a nomination for Mr. Van Peck for vice chairman, zoning board of appeals. May I have a second?
Second?
Roll call, please.
Chairman Perrin,
Vote for Mr. Van Peck for vice chairman, Lowell zoning board of appeals.
Member Peck,
Van Peck for vice chairman.
Member Palia,
Van Peck for vice chairman.
Member Callahan,
Van Peck for vice chairman.
Member McCarthy.
Van Peck for vice chairman.
Congratulations, Mr. Peck, you're the vice chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, members of the board, sir. I appreciate it.
Moving on to clerk, I seek a nomination for clerk of zoning board of appeals.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I nominate Mike Pagler for clerk.
I'd like a second, and I would like to second that. May I have a roll call, please?
Chairman Perrin,
Vote for Mike Pagula for clerk of zoning board of appeals.
Member Peck,
Mike Pagler for clerk.
Member Palia,
Michael Palia for clerk of the zoning board of appeals.
Member Callahan,
Mike Palia for clerk zoning board of appeals.
Member McCarthy.
Mike Palia for clerk for zoning board of appeals.
That's it. Congratulations, Mr. Palia. You're the clerk of zoning board of appeals.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
And that concludes our elections for zoning board of appeals on August 28th, 2017. Moving forward, under minutes for approval, we have none. That being said, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
May I have a second?
Second.
Any other comments, Christine? Meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.